We decided to bring out a 5-track EP instead of a full album because nowadays people are consuming so much that we felt instead of giving a full album of say 10, 11, 12 tracks, 5 tracks would be something that would be easier to get into, to listen to all the 5 songs in more depth than for say, you know, a full album of sitting there and going through each song. Even though we love full albums, and I mean we've done already 4 full-length albums, we decided to break this one up into 2 parts.
I think the overall sound of this EP, I see it split into like 3 parts basically. There's 2 brother songs which belong together, then there's the 2 sister songs which belong together, and then there's the sort of song which I would imagine will end the EP, which is more of a stripped down ballad, just piano and vocal, and it's a very nice way to sort of hear ISO in that context, just as songwriters, without the glitz and glamour and gimmicks of all sorts of production little things.
It's super old school, so I don't know if the guys will like it. We'll have to see if they like it.
Why would we throw this all away so carelessly when we could be?
Oh, I like that. I like that.
We recorded the live instruments as well as programming the beats. Mark would program beats and Pete would also program some drums, etc. And it was cool because how it came together is now that we've kind of blended the live playing with the whole electronic approach.
We've worked with Peach before on a couple of other songs on previous records, and we really liked what he did. And not only that, but we're close friends with him, and we see him basically all the time. And then we've been talking about doing something like this for a while, and he seemed like the natural choice. We really like how he works and his style of producing. I think he gives a very clean and smashing sound. And I think as well it also had to do with the fact that we wanted to separate ourselves a little bit from the production process. So in other words, we wanted to make sure that somebody else had full control of the mixing and the producing, and just taking the ideas that we had and sort of making a complete product out of it, instead of it being a little bit disconnected.
The first person I worked with was Marco, and we tracked the drums, and he brings like a human energy to the music, although there may be electronic textures running alongside some of the songs. So Marco brought that human foundation, and then Franco came in second, and he had to play to that. And he's obviously a trained and very skilled jazz bassist, so it was a totally different vibe, but somehow we found a little gap where they can work together. And then Richard did his guitars. He was actually reading some of the music. Anyway, no, he did a great job. It's not a very guitar heavy album, actually. And then Alex today did some piano and some keys and some stuff. And he makes it all float and soar with his sounds, and he's also known as the chord master, or the master of the chord.
I've always, basically for the last 3 records, I've been just producing the records myself in terms of what it sounds like. So it was very strange for me to give it to Peach. But I'm happy with the results, I'm ecstatic with them. In fact, he's taken the songs to a much more dynamic level. I mean, this is definitely, I think, the hardest record we've done, which is quite funny. It's the shortest thing we're going to bring out, but it's been given the most time, in a way.
I think the sound of this album is going to expose and feature Richard's voice differently to what we've ever seen. I think the way that the producer Peach and Richard is working together is making the qualities of his voice very, very audible, and it sticks out, and it really, really sounds very beautiful and intimate at the same time.
I give it all away, I throw it all away, I give it all